Okay, we've gotten Sonnie here today and we're excited. As I already said, I've introduced him. I'm sure most of everybody should know Sonnie, especially in Africa and out of Africa also. So we are going to zoom in straight and ask him the question. So Sonnie, Doctor, we are so proud and happy that we could have you here today. So the question I want to ask you first is, what's our music ministry about?
And thank you. In ministry, or the entire Christendom, music is the most important. Because music is what brings God's presence down. And when we check the Bible, David played a significant role in praise and worship. God built a relationship with David and his entire generation because of that act of worship. And so any church that is a growing church has a strong music ministry. So the secret to any growing church is that musicians and minstrels are being taken care of. And your father has a PhD in that. He's raised a lot of worship leaders, minstrels, who are now making impact. So in my view, music is so important when it comes to churches.
Good. You said something about minstrel. And it's everyone who sings at church a minstrel or psalmist, or you have to be called into the ministry before you called a minstrel. Or when you sing in the choir, you get automatically called into that ministry.
The Bible says play and play skillfully. It takes minstrels to play skillfully. It's a calling. You have to be called for it. It has to be inside of you. Can I speak tree?
Go ahead.
No, it's a gift from God. It comes with the spirit of creativity. That moment you discerning and creating right there and there. So you have to be called for it. It's a calling, and it's a gift that when God gives to you, you are privileged to have. So it's not everybody that's a minstrel. Yeah, everybody can sing. Anybody can put a chord, but it takes a minstrel to take us to the throne room. Yeah.
So you are saying right now that people who sing in the choir are not necessarily all minstrels.
Not at all. That's why you see that others are more passionate than others. Some are just there. And you serious. You know, so there are different categories, and there are those who once they sing, the church knows. You know, the once this person picks the mic, is like Cristiano Ronaldo now Faborno. Yeah. We know something is about to happen. Yeah. So these are minstrels that everybody can attest to the fact that there's something called oil inside this person.
Okay, so you have told us clearly about how people can attest. So how did you know? When did you know that you are called into that ministry?
When did I know?
Yeah.
Good question. I think at a certain point in my life growing up, my parents knew. And then when I became a man or a young man, where I went to secondary school and all that, I discovered that this was an extra passion. There was this strange passion, even though I was not gearing towards that. I was into soccer, and I had something different. I had a different agenda, but it was in school. Junior Steers, when there was this moment that this guy, he was in this SU team, and I mean, I said, "Me, bad boy, me papa is so for us, so applause, so because me from something, you know." And okaso me ko jam na yen ko
Program.
No, a cappella rehearsals.
Oh, okay.
And now, I've never shared this story anywhere. When we got there, I was just sitting there, and then they were singing this song. Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul? Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul? Oh my God, I cry to thee, let me not be afraid, or let my enemies triumph. That song hit me like a thunderbolt. Oh, I heard it on that. I said, I was saying, Bumi War. Miss me Pentaka Koshiwi. And a boy, as a person, me did me human ya me beside. I say, a person cast on our converting me beside. To me, they said me, yeah, mommy is can't yeah, me chair. But that song,
it hit you.
So there was a key one of the guys couldn't hit. So I said, oh, can I try for you? Now me drop. Oh my God, I cry to thee. And then everybody looked at me like, okay, I've never said this thing anyway.
Whoa.
So they're like, oh, why don't you join us?
Okay.
So that's how I joined that a cappella group.
So that was your first time ever joining a choir?
My voice no.
You didn't know you could sing?
Yeah, oh no, I could sing but when I was like, my ministry literally started. You know, when you can get to boys,
why you back?
You know that kind of big science. I figured this is what was happening. Gospel rock shows. Me train a ko through wall ko town. Na makaso me pese me tunu ansani ako. To get to boys. You know, yeah, train your taxi me train or down. I'm so I mean tunu. Because gospel for this me betu. Guess what happens? Me tunu here. In night I know be a person be ko town.
What the ghetto boys?
Because the way I'm tunu no, I said obi afili ba bisa. Ni atina na ya bonko. Now you getting how the ministry started. So now I became active in the timbrels. I was active and I think suddenly I started shaping up into it. And after school, I lived in London for a while. I became a praise and worship leader. Then if you were London, so economy, some churches could not afford a whole week. So I was drumming and leading worship.
Wow.
And I did this for about 10 years.
Wow.
You know, and I think I metamorphosized into this Sonnie Badu. Yeah, but it took years of process. Years of process.
Okay. So I want to ask just a few more questions and we'll be done. So when will someone know that they're called into ministry? Will they have to also go through the process you went through, or they will get a call, or how would they know that this is the ministry?
Oh, there's a mobile number that calls you. I'm joking. I'm joking. You're asking some very, very intelligent questions. Okay. I can speak for myself.
Yes.
There's always that moment.
You're actually an authority. So.
Yeah, when there's always that moment where you have that encounter with God. You can be in the midst of people, you can be hearing other people's stories, but there's always that moment where you will have your personal encounter. It could be in the midst or atmosphere of worship. It could be in a dream. It could be alone when you're waiting on God. There's always that time, that Kairos time where God will say, you know what, I'm setting you down. If you could be in a prophetic meeting, now your servant, the prophet of God will tell you, say it's time. You know, you'll just feel it inside of you. And when it's time, the elements, everything within you will just rise to the occasion. When the mango fruit is ripe and no antidote. It's that natural thing that happens. You know, you just know says time. Only yes, your demeanor changes, how you communicate changes. Your everything changes about you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to know says there's something that has shifted in Sonnie Badu. The Sonnie Badu 6 years, 7 years ago is very different from now. I've become a spiritual father, biological father. I've had more responsibilities on my shoulders. It's made me more mature. You know, my presentation is totally different. And Julian said, no, even if you doubted it's calling now, right? It happens naturally like that.
Okay. So I just want you to advise anybody who believes they are called in ministry, they've had that encounter, that feeling that they are called into ministry. Any advice? Because you're like an authority. So any advice you would give to them?
I shared this in Ivory Coast and it went viral. Okay. And I'll say it again on your channel exclusively. This generation lacks mentorship. The fact that I stood on the same stage with you to sing doesn't mean we're co-equals. The fact that I'm sitting next to your dad does not mean I'm his co-equal. He's over 60. I have a long way to go to catch up to that. There's so many he's seen that I have not seen yet. it means that I need mentorship from him. If this generation, which is very gifted,
Yes.
can add humility, submission, and mentorship to their gift, they'll go beyond.
That's true. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Preview.